Emotional incest is insidious and covert to begin with, right? It's hard to pinpoint it oftentimes. We don't view it as a form of abuse. That gets ignored. The abuse is the overindulgence of the so-called love from a parent to a child. A daughter may think there's nothing really unusual here about my relationship with my father, and the same thing from son to his mother. This must be the way it is for most kids growing up in households. I've done quite a few videos on the topic. If you want to explore this more, I'll have some links in the description box below. It's nothing we can really see or point to. And sometimes it's not until our adult life that we're realizing, why am I struggling in these relationships? Why have I become such a people pleaser? Why am I enmeshed with others? Why do I have a strong degree of codependency in me? And then we can explore this, pinpoint it to emotional incest. They don't think it's abuse because, again, there's nothing to point to that seems out of the ordinary to others. There's certainly no black and blue marks to point to if you're being physically abused. There's no sexual abuse going on. If we try to talk to our friends or extended family members, you may find yourself saying like, well, they love me too much. Well, people may jump on that and say, oh, you're a lucky kid. They care about you so much, not realizing that that is the abuse. Do you see how insidious that is, and then therefore how difficult it is to point to something? But then we get older and we realize, why did my parent take me on these dates? Why me? Why did they not let me buy clothes for myself? They had to do everything for me. Why was I put on this artificial pedestal? Why does my mother treat me more like a husband, or my father treat me more like a wife? So these gray area things are very ambiguous, and therefore it's not labeled as abuse. But it is abuse. It's stripping away a child's healthy developmental stages and therefore robbing them of their own identity, the ability to be whole, to go through life as a healthy, whole human being. Now, I think it gets confusing for some people because emotional incest may involve to some degree some slight sexual overtures, but it doesn't include actual sex. Then it crosses over into physical incest at that point. That's why you'll often hear it referred to as a covert form of abuse. Covert emotional incest. It's hidden. No one's really aware, perhaps, that abuse is happening, but it is indeed happening. The father, the mother appear very caring to the victim. They appear to be demonstrating love, and at the same time may genuinely love the victim. So a father, a mother having love for their child and not realizing that it's crossing over into taking care of their emotional needs. They're using the child at that point. They're definitely doing it for a reason, but do they want to remain clueless about it? Probably. And because it's so undercover, so to speak, the victim is thinking they're so special, especially in their early years. How can I call that abuse? I'm being praised by my own mother or father. They clearly think I'm extra special compared to my siblings. It's all about what the parent wants versus what's in the best interest of the child. The parent is supposed to help the child find their wings and grow up and go out in the world in a healthy way, not be there through many developmental stages growing up to fulfill the parent's emotional needs, their mini husband or their mini wife, so to speak. So yes, there's a lot of confusion about the fact that this is actual abuse. I know for me and my private practice, clients come in and sometimes say, well, I don't know what's going on here, but if you want to talk about my parents, they did everything for me. Well, then it's helping them to understand that that is the issue. This is what's causing now emotional issues in your adult life in terms of relationships with others, relationship with yourself. So we need to start at step one sometimes and bring up what's been ignored. The fact that this is indeed abuse, let's label it as such, so therefore we know what we're working with. So I hope this is helpful for some of you maybe who are victims of emotional incest or wondering what's going on in your current life. If it is impacted by being emotionally smothered in your childhood, then likely this is something you need to start calling it so you can get a handle on it and bring it up to a therapist in this manner so the therapist knows what you're dealing with, what your concerns are about. So please feel free to leave me some comments below. Let me know your thoughts about this topic. Please subscribe to my mental health YouTube channel if you like these kind of videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.